Hi. Have you ever heard of something called a scarcity mindset? Scarcity mindset. Let me give you the definition. It is a way of thinking that focuses on the belief that there are limited resources available, often leading to a consistent or a constant feeling of not having enough, whether it be time, money, or opportunities, or even love, causing an individual to fixate on what they lack rather than what they have. Now, I actually first heard this concept and this term, scarcity mindset. I first heard about it when I was in Mary Kay. They taught about that. They taught about, how to, basically not have a scarcity mindset, not always thinking that there's not going to be enough customers for you, there's not enough money out there for you, not enough food, not enough love, not enough whatever, right? Anyway, in Mary Kay, they really did harp on that quite a bit. It was in the training a lot. And I just remember it being a thing like, okay, you got to, really think about the opposite. Like whenever you are thinking negative about something, or like you're not going to be able to, hit your goal or whatever, but to automatically stop and shut down that thought and to think the opposite. Just say the opposite. And even though for a time period you might feel like you are faking it, right? Eventually, by doing that, it does kind of stop that habit, and eventually it will become your reality. Especially, when you have goals and things that you're trying to hit, sales goals and things like that. So let me say, I of course I looked at, I researched on my phone, on Google, some of the lists and different key points about a scarcity mindset that I want to talk about. One of them says a focus on lack. So people with a scarcity mindset tend to constantly think about what they don't have, leading to a feeling of anxiety and insecurity. So basically, when you focus on what you don't have, it literally perpetuates exactly what you don't want. So in Mary Kay, we always used to say, what you think about, you bring about. And I bring this up a lot because when I joined Mary Kay, you guys, it was a long time ago, but I was in the company for almost 8 years. And I was in my 20s. It was like my real formative work years. And it was my first real experience in self-employment and also just kind of like going after my goals. So I refer to a lot because also it was a lot of self-training, but I took advantage of it. I literally drank it up. So I refer to that company a lot because I do feel very strongly it is a very good company, okay? But I also learned a lot, okay? And this is one of the things they talked a lot about. What you think about, you bring about. So if you're always thinking about what you don't have, it literally perpetuates the issue, okay? So you want to do the opposite. You want the opposite. The reason why you want to think about the opposite, so for example, like let's say, no matter what your bank account looks like, whatever your goal is, you want to think about what your goal is, the money that you want to have in your bank account. So like for me, I have a visualization on my phone. So when you see that enough and you think, you're visualizing that enough, what happens is it raises your vibration to match that goal. It sounds like, how can that be? But it's hard to explain, but basically starts in your mind. So having a scarcity mindset is huge. It can really be huge. It also changes how you look at life in general. For example, it brings out, one of the key points it brings out is competitiveness. Individuals with a scarcity mindset might see others as competition for limited resources, leading to a more competitive attitude. People who want to win at all costs, right? Some people, when they have a scarcity mindset, will go, to no end, literally extremes to, let's say, for example, if you want to compete for some man or something like that. Competing, like as if there's not going to be somebody else out there for you, because you have a scarcity mindset. And I absolutely can, understand if you live in like a big city where maybe you don't, there's not a lot of people, like it's hard to get around throughout the state or whatever, and it's like you're only used to seeing people on your block or whatever, and there's only going to be so many. In that case, you do have, there is a scarcity mindset, because there's also a scarcity as in where you'll go to travel and how many people you'll actually be able to meet. So you might have an extreme competitive type of attitude where you will literally stop at nothing and maybe act ridiculous, and acting very competitive, like winning at all cost, whatever the cost. Okay. And it could be extreme jealousy. It could cause you to be, this competitiveness will look like jealousy and extreme negative behavior, and just maybe doing things that you normally wouldn't do. Okay. This kind of thing, you see it all the time. Look at when women compete for what is that show, when The Bachelor. Like, I always think that's crazy. Now, we know a lot of them are actresses and actors because they want to get on TV. We know that. But some of these girls, sometimes they do compete too much. Like, sometimes it seems like it really is affecting them, I mean, we do know there's some reality to it. I mean, okay. And that kind of jealousy and rambunctious and immature behavior, okay, it's because it's like a scarcity mindset. Well, if you are going for a millionaire, okay, then yeah, you just, lowered your chances of finding somebody that you want. If being a millionaire is like on your list and he has to be a millionaire, well, there's only going to be so many millionaires, especially if you live in a big city and you don't hardly ever leave your block because you can't drive, or you don't want to fly, or you don't want to get out very much. Yeah, you're going to have lesser chances, right? So that would be a scarcity mindset, okay? Especially amongst women, you'll see it all the time. The way I have always, once I learned this in my early 20s, once I learned about scarcity mindset and how it really affects your whole life, from your job to your family, to your, chances in love, all of that. Once I learned that, I really assimilated it and I really took it to heart. And I also could understand and see how God did not intend us to have a scarcity mindset. That is actually from the devil. The devil is the one that kind of perpetuates that competitiveness and the fear of not having enough food or not having enough this or that. And it is true, in some countries it is like that, right? But that doesn't come from God. That's not from God, okay? He put us here on earth with plenty of food and plenty of resources and things for us to have a very happy, fulfilling life, okay? So another point that it brings out is this fear of missing out, FOMO. This mindset can drive a strong fear of missing out on opportunities because they believe they are only for a limited number of people available. So when you are in alignment with your life and when you're in true alignment with what you know is for you, with what you know your gifts are. For example, I love to do makeup, but I'm also gifted in that way, because of the feedback I've had throughout my life as far as women, booking me and what I've always been told constantly. For me, I get positive feedback constantly on my creativity and my makeup and things like that. More in that lane. I'm more in alignment when I stay in that place, right? So if I was to try to all of a sudden run a logistics business, I would probably find myself out of alignment. And yeah, my opportunities and my success may not be like as good as somebody else who is more gifted in logistics or numbers or whatever, okay? So it's kind of like that. So it's kind of like you'll have a fear of missing out. And the thing about missing out is like you have to adopt the mindset of knowing that whatever is for you is for you. Whatever is supposed to be for you, whatever God has ordained for you, and whatever blessings that are in alignment for you in your life, you have to understand that they're for you. They're for your taking. That they will present, those opportunities will present themselves to you. But you have to be, and you can't be in this lack mentality where you're always wanting to compete for other people's blessings or other people's job opportunities or other people's house, car, you know, keeping up with the Joneses, as they say. That is like, that's fundamentally wrong. We see that so much in the Bible, right? Because when God promises, when his promises to a particular group or person, he always came through. He always came through, and he made sure that the opportunity was there for them, right? That literally, that is how God operates. And so as we are all born on this earth with opportunities, you know, with a certain amount of gifts. I mean, the Bible says it. Each one has a gift, okay? But it really is going to depend on how much you align yourself with good decisions, making good decisions that are for your highest good. For example, you might be very good at a particular job, and you actually might be in the, in the running for, let's say, a higher position, right? And the company may be looking at you for a particular job position, a raise or something. And if you self-sabotage that by drinking too much, smoking too much, popping pills, and next thing you know, the company is like, hey, we need you to take a P test or whatever, and you weren't ready for that, okay? And you fail. Okay, now you just self-sabotaged that blessing, that opportunity for yourself. Okay, so that is one way that you can take yourself out of alignment. Okay, out of alignment. Anyway, so let's see. Another thing is contrast with an abundance mindset. So an abundance mindset, which is the opposite of a scarcity mindset. An abundance mindset is this, is believing that there are plenty of resources available and focusing on what one already has and fostering a more positive, optimistic outlook. Okay, so basically you want to, you know, have the opposite mindset of scarcity, like there's not enough. Okay, and also, if you have a scarcity mindset, I challenge you to ask yourself, where did you get that from? How did you develop that? Where did that come from? Did it come from your parents? Did it come from your upbringing? Did it come from, was there never enough food on the table? You know, is there a lot of competitive type of, you know, behavior in your family? Let's see, hold on.